again. This is part two of the Brad Pitt portrait that we're doing using the shade brush. So let's head to Paintology. There, this was the drawing we last made in part one, and we're going to continue with this and complete this drawing. And you can see the original and the reference, nothing like it, but getting close. You can see some of the features are coming alive. So the drawing is actually done using just this shade brush, and it's probably, if you're familiar with digital, you're probably thinking, probably scratching your head, thinking, how can you make a drawing with one brush? Well, the answer to that is very simple. People make great drawings with one pencil in traditional mediums. So why not in digital? The reason why many turn to the tools in digital, it's because it is a lot easier. But what they lack in the future are the fundamental skills which will make you a good artist like the traditional. And you will notice that my digital artwork, nothing looks like digital at all. People mistake it for being done traditional. That's because I'm using my hand. So these kind of lessons I'm providing you are not the use of tools, not to get you acquainted with digital tools, but to teach you the core skills of art, the same thing they teach you at school. So you should be happy that I'm not charging you for this or billing you for this, but maybe perhaps in the future, I may monetize on some of the drawings. But in the meantime, you should enjoy what I have to present, and hope you learn something, because my aim is to get everyone to draw on the phone, and you can make some great drawings on the phones. So the whatever people may say about drawing, it is really about observation. The reason why I can draw well is because, when I look at the original drawing, I look at each part of the section with the tones. You see, the tones that lie on the left side of his face here, which is darker. And then the right side, you can see it's lighter. And even up to the neckline, you can see it's darker on the left and right. So then I understand that I have a good handle on the properties of the shade brush, including the hardness settings, and I can really, because I have a good appreciation of just this brush alone works. I'm not looking for anything. I can even create the textures that you see in the drawing. Look, you can even see I've created a blurring effect using the shade with a larger brush. It looks like the airline has receded from there. And look at the features on the front. It's only a natural manifestation of the shade brush that allows you to take full advantage of it. So if you ever do something, don't turn to tools. Carpenters are not known for their tools, are they? They're known by their final artwork. So the same thing applies to drawing as well. So observation is really key to making good drawings. If you remember, told you I was going to work on a portrait drawing, freehand of this. I did finish it yesterday, and I can show you now. This is done on my Galaxy Tab, the complete colored portrait, and I didn't use the trace. I actually used my eye to visualize what color I saw, and then using that color and applying it. So I'm hoping to post this. It will be called the 4 or 5 part series of photorealistic drawings. So this is done on the digital tablet, on the Galaxy tablet, and I used again simply one brush, no effects, blending, everything was done progressively through the session. So this, if you ask me how long this took me, I would say 4 or 5 hours in, of course, 3, 4 sittings. So let's go back to the other one, to our drawing. And before I go on to this, I want to say that I'm using the Samsung phone and the stylus for this. This is a Note 10 and a stylus, and obviously it allows me high degree of accuracy with the stylus, yeah. But you can also use your fingers. So I'm going to show you something quickly. Let's go out of the... Here's a drawing I made of, probably recognize her, Taylor Swift. This was done just with my fingers. So when I say finger, just me, I mean my index finger. I just use my finger to draw that, and zoomed in, and then add just applied. So most people will probably not carry a stylus with them because they're maybe too cumbersome, but you can also make nice drawings with your finger, and the effects are quite different to how I would draw with a stylus. Yeah. So there you are. So you can drawing is such a great hobby. I recommend anyone should take up drawing, especially if you've got spare time and make a change from social media and by reading and posting, and do something creative. And this is a great to let your mind wander off for an hour while you're drawing. So you can use your fingers. So there's no excuse for not drawing on the phone. So let's go back and finish the Brad Pitt drawing. Okay, so we have it here. Let's go here. So now we've seen, so now as I've said, part of drawing is, what the word they use, I think they say, draw with what you see, draw like what you see, which is actually quite relevant, but you have to take that further and say, you can draw what you see, but if you don't have the drawing skills or understand the process of drawing, what's the point, right? So that's where a lot of beginners get wrong. They think they're going to use their pen, pencil, and suddenly it's going to turn out into Brad Pitt like this. No, I'm sorry, that's not the case. You have to learn. You will see that each time I make a particular stroke, I'm doing it with a purpose in mind. You see, if I zoom in, like right now, what am I seeing that pops into my mind? When I flick through the original and my drawing. Okay, I can see holes that I need to address, areas that I need to address. Right away, you can see the eyes are not done, right? It looks like a ghost, right? But you can see the rest of the features are coming through. So I'm going to now, I'm at a level where I've taken this drawing to this stage where I'm able to add further details. Forget about layers. I don't know who's talking to you about layers. If you want to be a digital illustrative artist and want to do graphic work and want a career in online graphics and that, please go ahead and use layers and learn all those tools in Adobe Photoshop or GIMP. I am a very I'm a advanced user of those apps, but I don't make my drawings like that. I use that for a different purpose when I'm actually posting something online or making a graphics or a logo or something. I don't need the requirement for layers. It takes the fun away of drawing. It just simply does for me because I'm not trying to put together jigsaw puzzle together. I create the jigsaw puzzle from start to finish without any other tools except my brush. So that's what I have to say about glass because people go on about, oh, this tube app does not have this, does not have that, does not have that. Oh, but it's just not for me. And I'm thinking, okay, you become too dependent on tools. Okay, you want tools to make your drawings, and then they say at the end, oh, but I've seen some very fine drawings, and it must have taken a huge lot of time for that. And I can make drawings like this in a matter of 1 or 2 hours. I'd like a digital artist to do the same using tools to make the same drawing in 1 or 2 hours. They cannot, because you have a much higher degree of control with with drawing by hand. Okay, so let's look at this again. I'm not going to say too much. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. I can see the hairline is going to be more pronounced and more distinct, right? Which we will work on at the end, but not right now. And then, like I said, Brad Pitt is beginning to look like a ghost with the eyes, yeah? Oops, this doesn't always work. I don't know why. Okay, so now we can see that that there are features that can be enhanced. So the nose looks pretty good. The lips are coming together. So I'm going to work on the eyes. So let's work on the eyes, okay? So let's go right, zoom in as close as you can. And then let's look at that eye. So look at the percentage grayscale I have. Very low, 0.8%. And it's obviously in grayscale. So let me go ahead and flick through, pick out the dark colors. I think I can go a tad bit bigger. Remember, this is going to help you. Drawing this way using trace is going to help you big time. And don't listen to all these people who says, you're using trace. These are people who don't know how to draw in the first place. Okay, so don't listen to that. And you've seen, I've shown you a drawing that I did photographic without trace. That's the skill you will develop if you continue this path. You're you're saying you're telling the teacher, no, I'm going to do the 100-meter hurdles in 12 seconds, but I'm not going to go through the proper training. Okay, I'm just going to do it. You know, don't listen to all that small talk there. People who are not practitioners. It's not cheating. It is the way people learn. It is gives you have a much better appreciation of the tools, and also because you're always comparing with the original. Okay, you just watch how quickly this eye comes alive. Increase that because there's more space, right? Oh, the wondering thing is we don't have it at 100%, so that's why it's work with speed. You're not trying to get absolute accuracy. Your mind will start developing the strokes you need. What I'm saying is when your mind will develop, it means that your brain adjusts to the skill you've learned, and it will automatically become natural for you, and you don't have to think as much. So you're thinking very granular, but don't think very like, okay, I'm going to make mistakes as I go along. That's the proper way of drawing. Okay, so let's go that. See, if I don't use that, I can create the illusion. This is what I call textures. Textures that you do. This is the texture because when you move away, it actually looks like you're using. It looks like an eye because your brain fills everything in. I mean, this is so much more fun drawing. You know, I'm telling you, you'll enjoy it if you get into it. You'll love drawing this way. Okay, so we got this. We go with a little bit of like around it here. And then you notice that white spot there? I'll show you how easily that is done. Go very low and go all the way. There. Now let's look at it. Oh look, see how the eye popped out? That was only what, a few minutes worth of work. As you get closer, you'll see the details. Now you can see that I'm heading for this black, the eyebrow. Basically trying to replicate the size of the eyebrows. So I automatically select. See, I'm not worried about the details, just getting close to it. All right, now look at the eyebrows, really popping out now. Now let's finish the right eye. And then at the end, I'm going to show you how to blend the whole face to make it pop. You probably haven't seen digital drawing being done this way, but hopefully now you can appreciate it more because you've probably seen a lot of people demonstrating the tools of Procreate and, but nothing like this. Yeah, I hope you know that you'll see some value in this. If you do, let me know about it so I can carry on keep bringing you these tutorials. Otherwise, I may have to stop because I'll only be doing something where people are interested in, and that's what I want to show. Otherwise, you could think of me going on the as they call it, down the garden path without any real benefits. But I think the problem really lies in the fact that you've been too brainwashed perhaps into thinking that digital has to be done with tools, nothing else, just how to know to use the tools. Look, I'm still on the shade brush. I'm not using any tools. I'm drawing just like I would with a pencil. It's perfect. That's exactly how drawing should be. Why do you want to make complicate drawing? Unless, of course, you're doing graphics works for Walmart or anything like that, Then yeah, well, go ahead. Learn illustration, but don't call it drawing. And then if you're thinking of investing in a trackpad connected to some kind of a Adobe software, think again. Is this for you, or is this what you want? Because I could give you training on Photoshop as well, if you like. But I'm not going to draw like I draw here with that. Why should I? I use it for it's completely a different kind. The thing is that drawing has evolved through these applications, and you see it in apps now. This method of drawing should be the the way you should draw, the natural way. Good. So let's take that. You see these textured marks around the region here? Yeah, I'm gonna watch how I create these textured marks. Very easy, no problem. That gives the illusion of texture, nothing. Look, you see these? That gives the illusion of texture. If you look at a photograph really close up, you'll see that it's really just based on texture, which has no resemblance to the real world if you look close enough, right? No resemblance at all. See, this one's not white, so I'll just blank it off. Again, we have that dark color, so just remember dark against white is really distinctive. So that's why I gotta make that dark. That's why the eyes looks so piercing and very, when you observe it, very distinct. Okay, now we're gonna go what we did last time. Take it down and then just let's see what it looks like. Okay, you can see just a little bit makes all the difference. The eyes standing out compared to the ghostly eyes we had before. And what was it? 5-10 minutes work? Okay, so now let's go for let's save this. Just to give you a comparison, suppose someone, a digital artist, wanted to do that eye. They'll be looking for blending, zooming in, going in, and coloring those eyes. They'll be doing all kinds of things. I guarantee it'll take them an hour just to do the eyes. Okay, let's go here, the lips. So let's look at it. Always look at the original. That's how I managed to do the photorealistic. I'm looking at the reference on my laptop while I'm drawing. Keep looking at it. Your observation is what's going to make you a good artist, not what you see with the drawing you're making. If you are interpreting your drawing to your own drawing, you are losing the plot. You essentially don't know, haven't got a reference to compare to. You should be turning to the reference photo, turning to your drawing, looking at your instrument and seeing how you can make that same tonal balance, same color. That's what I do. That's the beauty of drawing. If you're just focused on your drawing while you draw, you're going to be a baby artist all your life. If you want to be a good artist who is trying to strive for the pinnacle of drawing, which is the real world around them, replicating the realities around them. That the realities around you consist of a lot of tones. Black and white is easy. I'm showing you black and white because tones are easy to understand on a grayscale mode. And if you look at color, tones are a bit more difficult to understand. But I managed to do that by keeping myself focused on the original reference than my drawing. The original reference than my. If the color doesn't match on the original, I change my tone on my drawing. If the some texture is not working, I change my techniques on my drawing. Simple as that. If you don't do that, you might as well draw in a very isolated manner, and your drawing will always be in imaginary stick shift or somewhere, nothing like stick figures and all that. Okay, so observation. Look, What can you see from here? What can I see that's distinct? I got the lip dark line nicely done, which I did early in the drawing. Now I can see darker shades here appearing on the left side. The nostrils, that nose area needs to be corrected. Mustache is coming together. Darker shade here, and the lips gradually getting lighter towards that side. But then notice that this darker area just at the bottom of that lip line where the two lips meet, dark, getting darker here. Look at that. This midpoint here, right around there, dark, light, very dark, light, very easy to understand. Keep that in mind, okay? So let's start from this side. In fact, if you want to get really detailed, work on half the lips, yeah? We'll do that. So again, I'm going to pick this dark color. Look where it is, almost to the dark side. And let's pick my color. Oops. Look where that is. Mine compared to the original. Right? And look where my tone balance is. Right down the middle. So you see I have to go all the way up on the grayscale. So let's pick this. So that's the beauty of the color picker. Now I can go back and apply these little textures and build it up. I'm going very rapidly. And then here around the nose, you can see that in order to do that, I'm going to increase the size a little bit because I know the region is a bit bigger. Okay. And then here is just a smooth, so I'm going to increase it even more. Look how I achieved that. Okay. Okay, just keep that for now. And then let's see here. Look where it is here. Let's bring that tone here. It's all about tonal work. You might have seen YouTube paint, mix, and draw. This gentleman who drew the President George Bush. He painted. He's one of the artists in Washington, artist on portrait, and he talks about this the exact thing that I'm showing you. He talks about everything is down to tone, and then you just keep developing the techniques. So I hope you know that you understand that tones are easy to really work with in digital. So let's take this down. That's the reason I can pull it off so quickly. Okay, so here it's going here, and then it's going and then I'm just going to pull this one, this line. You can see there's a few lines. Look, you don't have to get it right exactly. And then while I've still got the dark black, I'm just going to fill this up here. Okay, let's continue down the lips. Now let's get this color. Let's get this again. Let's get this point here, which is there's some darker shade around the lips, isn't it? On the top of the lips. Okay, let's look at the lips now. Becoming more pronounced, as you can see, right? Problem is in the lower lip here, it's a little too white. So let's take that down. Keep going. That's the beauty of the shade. And then if you just by that little change, see how I made it? How it looks different? Just by that little addition to the lips. Now we're gonna take that black tone and then work our way. Not too much, because remember this is the lighter area, but more importantly we want to work around the nose. This bit. You'll find that why did I select a lower brush size? Because that comes with experience. You can't expect to learn right away. If you haven't tried something, then how are you to know? So you need to practice. Then you can feel for what it's doing. You notice that bit here on the apex of this nose here? Let's add that bit. So it's almost like painting by numbers, but much granular in process. Okay, so let's see if we got that nose. Okay, I think we have just a little bit here. The tash goes up here. Let's look at it now. Yeah, it's so much better, isn't it? Do you think? Do you agree? Okay, now I can see right away that the left eye, can you see there's a white streak? Let's just fill that in before we move to the ears, which is what I'm thinking next. Now here, you see, there's a white thing, but we need this darker. Okay, and then we'll just use this color. See, don't worry about filling it in complete. Look, so we filled that in, so we're good now. Let's move to the right here. Again, we're not going to spend too much time on this. We're just going to simply look at that ear. Look at that. I can see. Can you see it? The line around the ears, and to define it. So we're going to keep defining. You can get as close as you want. If you're a beginner, get as close as you want, and then fill in the details, and you'll be surprised with how it works. Let's actually save it, just in case if there's a power outage. Not that it ever happens, but you never know. Okay, just create the outline first. Okay. Create the textures as you go along. Don't worry about it. Just create the textures. Don't worry about the exact details. Look, I'm not worried about replicating the exact detail. Just okay. So now, see, I've already from the last time filled that in. So now I'm going to go one tab lower. You probably think you're never going to use a brush size of 1%. But trust me, if you want to make a drawing really good, you need to go on the details, isn't it? The reason why some artists are good is because they are very good on the details. Okay, so now this is, you should be happy that you live in this digital world because you have tools that allows you to draw like this. 20 years ago, there was no such tools. Now you have all the tools that will rapidly increase your ability in drawing. Now, if you look at that, now you can see that these lines they go all the way around here. So notice I have a little grey tone. So here, just get the, because I'm focused around the ear, I'm not going too far outside of what the, outside the ear. Okay, let's look at it now. Look at that. Yeah, that was 5 minutes. Yeah, and it looks like an ear because you are basically, what you're doing is you're basically playing with your eyes in such a manner that it's only when you look close enough you can see all the things. Have you ever been to a gallery when you look at a fine piece of artwork? Yeah? What happens? Whenever you go to a gallery and a fine piece of artwork, you basically have a close-up and look at the canvas and you'll see it doesn't make sense. The trees are so disjointed. The colors are all over the place. It's the same here, isn't it? What's different about here? Nothing really. Okay, so let's look at the left ear now. Can you see it? Very distinct. So we're gonna, I can see right away that I don't have this area done. So let's go ahead and fill that in. Okay, so very quick. Don't be too conscious of your work. Very quick. This, I'm not going to venturing too far out, but just laying down the, as you get better and better, I know I've gotten better by doing these portraits, and that's the reason why I'm able to draw like this very rapidly. So I don't expect you to achieve the same level because you haven't had the experience, have you? So just keep that in mind, that the speed at which I'm drawing is because I have experience. If someone came to me and teaching me something, I would always keep that in mind. I didn't expect them to reach. Well, that's where the frustration can kick into a lot of people, and the reason why many fail, unfortunately. That's fine. All right, let's see if you got the left ear right. Yeah, I think so, right? Okay, now what we're going to do is let's look at the image there and let's save it first again. You know, I have a habit of doing this. You should develop the same habit. So now let's see where we are. Okay, so you can see how the image shifts because the tones are not right. Look, that hairline is not, it's about here. So let's work on that. You can see how far away I was from the original. See that? So that's the left side of the ear line, and then we can simply keep going down so we have that covered. And this part, so I'm just making sure the hairline is about right. And then we have these darker areas which we can finish later. But now, you know, I'm going to spend some time on the hair very quickly. I can make it as detailed as I want, but I don't. So I'm going to just use a brush size that I think is sufficient to bring out the dark colors. Yeah, just keep doing that, and then you'll be quite surprised with what uh, what you have achieved. So I can go back in maybe a bit more, 3% perhaps. Yeah, it looks more better. So you're probably thinking, some of you might join me at this time and say, oh, he's using a trace. Oh, God, that's not right. Yeah, that's what most people who are not practitioners. Well, before you make that call, please look at my photorealistic drawing of Brad Pitt color. Then I think you'll say something different. Here it is again. I'll show you. Okay, no trace. Okay, so how do you feel? How does it look to you? Then they're going to change their opinion because they have no idea what they're talking about. This is what really gets me a little mad sometimes, is that people think they have that they know what they're talking about, and in fact they're not. And there's people who actually make comments about art without even practicing in art. I've seen that many times. There's also there's a lot of people who will say, well, you know, I don't get the feel of the textured material. I don't get the feel of the pens, or I don't. Or, well, unless you're going to eat the paint or eat the graphite, then why do you care how it feels? Because to be honest with you, I have gone way beyond that thinking, which probably springs in your mind when you first do digital. Then after that, you just look at how you're going to create your artwork. You know, right now I'm using the stylus. Am I too bothered about how it feels, or, you know, whether I'm feeling the texture or that? No, of course not. What matters to me is what kind of drawing can I do, my creativity that comes from it. My creativity doesn't. Do you enjoy food because you're munching it in a particular way and holding it in your palate in a particular way? No. If you like the food, you blooming munch it down, don't you? Same with, that's why people come with this strange thinking that really dumbfounds me sometimes, is that without even knowing, they speculate. Look, I've created that hairline. Easy, isn't it? Use a flicking of the pen. Let's look at it now. Oops. You can see the hairline is now coming together, isn't it? Nicely done, yeah? So now let's finish the left side here. Let's look at it. Okay. So now I don't have to necessarily go. Oh, it's pretty dark, so let me just darken it. Oops. Okay, so where are we? Yeah, better. So now let's, I think I can go a bit hard, bit bigger percent all the way. Just add this body of black. It really gives it emphasis like in the original. This is where creativity comes in. You can use, it's not so much on that side, yeah? In fact, there's a white patch that I probably want to do. Yeah, I'm not exactly in the same place, but still I'm creating that illusion. Yeah, the illusion of hair. So let's finish, take the hairline all the way down, see what we have here. Okay. So just, you can see me at work so quick, right? It's the reason why, do you think that photorealistic drawing I could have done in that quickly in 4 hours? No. If I didn't work that quick, what do you think I would be doing? I'd be doing it, be working on it till next week. Speed for me allows me to, speed for me allows me to make more drawings in the same time, okay? I don't have to spend time like some people do with one piece of artwork, hyperrealistic. Sorry, I could do hyperrealistic, but it'll be faster than you, but to be honest with you, it doesn't teach me much skills. Photorealism is a bit different. All right, so I think we've covered that, isn't it? Do you think that hair is particularly sticking out or not? Maybe if I put a curl on it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm adding up a few curls on your hair, Brad. There it is. So, Now you can see there's some haziness to that, to get rid of that around there. So I want to get rid of that sort of, because remember I used a very big brush. That's why it went outside that perimeter. Alright, so now we can finish this here, and then we'll eventually go through the face to blend it, and I'll show you how that's done. In fact, I don't have a particular set way of doing it right now, but I'm gonna go by ear. So let's draw the outline of this so we know where roughly how far to go. Yeah. Oh, what happened? Actually, there could be a potential bug we're going to fix with my programmer on this. So let's do that again. There. Okay, let's see how that looks. I think I can get away with that. So now let's finish this side. I'll put it midway and then I'll increase. So put it midway so I can see have the original reference. Yeah, which is fine. Okay, so I think that looks good. Now we can blend, right? Let's do some blending that you might like here now. Okay, so let's pick that color. So I'm going to actually stick to this to my drawing side. So I'm not going to use the trace. So I can blend it because my drawing is more or less complete. So I'm going to pick this color. You notice that it's halfway. Then I'm going to pick an adjacent light color. You can see. So let me just go midway. That's one of the techniques I used last time while I was learning to do this. And then let's reduce it to 5, not too much, because if you over blend it, it'll look animated, I'm sorry to say. So use your eyes for this, okay? Let's see what it looks like. I think that looks okay. This bit at the top may not look okay, so let's get rid of that. Okay, so now we have the left side. You can see a lot of work needs doing. Well, it's not a lot of work, but look at it carefully. It's like, so let's pick a brush size. Let's look at the color picker there. You can see here. Okay, and then let's pick the lighter one, which is there. So let's go back here, and then let's pick a brush. Let's just blend it out. With the blending tools, what would you have done? I guarantee you would probably be looking at 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. Let's see what it looks like. So much better, isn't it? Okay, let's go here. Now you're thinking, well, how am I going to do the textures? Well, believe me, there's a way around that as well. Okay, so what about the right side? You can see here that that's probably not, oh yeah, so I just actually got that again, do the same thing here and then here, so it's about here, okay? And then let's midway. That's really a simple way to blend. Okay, let's see what it looks much better, isn't it? And then here, let's see if we got that right. Yeah, I think I was trying to overdo this, so let's make that retreat a bit. Okay, better. And now let's see if we got this darker area right. And I don't think we have. So but then this darker region should come here. So we can increase that a little bit. Okay. And as you get closer, look, blending it. Okay, so let's see if we've got that nose. That's actually a bit light, but if I'll show you the thing goes halfway, but if you look at the original, I guarantee it'll be darker. See the difference? Again, my midway. Let's see the actual drawing. Look at that, all that way. So let's take it down and just fill it. All right, so much difference, isn't it? So much difference. Looks more realistic. And you could do the same thing around this eye as well. Let's look at it. So we have here the original, and then here. So we got that right almost. Yeah. So let's blend this out. The way I'm going to blend this out is use that and then use the light adjacent and then just go halfway. And it's still got, and if it's not working, just change the tones. Right, so that's perfect. Let's see what it looks like. No, perfect. It actually looks like there's an undulation in the eyes, the ball, yeah? So now we have to work on the beard. Now this is where the texture comes in, and we're going to reduce the brush size. Okay, so sorry, keep going that, and then let's save this works in case power outage. Just joking. But here, look, the blacks. I can see there are blacks, right? So I'm just going to go nothing fancy. Look, I am basically just going over with my brush, and you'll see the effect it has. I did that with the photorealistic drawing. Just do it in the areas. In fact, I could increase it a little bit, and then go increase. Okay, just random scribbles. The reason on this side why it's not so dark is because you can imagine it's actually the light's lighter on that side, okay? Alright, so much better now, isn't it? Now we're going to keep improving that, but we might have to do some work on the lower lip. And but before we do that, let's find the right tones for this side. So we got all the way down, So we're gonna go actually increase that. Okay, so we have this big blob here. Well, let's see what that is. That is just a blob. So I'm going to just take that tone it down, and then while I'm still here, I'm going to add his, actually, let's just, oops, okay, just give it a texture. I'm going to create a texture. So now I'm going to take it down and add the beard effect. Just simply going over. Remember, I can select different colors, which I will show you in a bit. The lighter color. Okay. So look, better, isn't it? Now, can you see anything that needs to be done? How about here? Looks like a little odd mark on his face here. So again, here, increase the size. So I'm increasing the size representative of the area I'm going to cover. So doing it this way, the way I'm moving it, is like creating a texture. Alright, isn't it so much better? This is probably a little too pronounced than I would like. So I'm going to go here, tap it, and then just use a different shade just to bring it down. Yeah, so whatever makes you happy, right? So now I can see a little bit of difference in here. Just add the textures to take away here. All right, and then this looks light, but it's not actually. So look, yeah, not bad. Okay, so now we have that. Let me do a few touch-ups. So now let's focus on the neck and then the left side and then the lower lip, and I think we should be done. So I'm going to blend this. So to blend it, let's have a look at it. More dark here, a little darker here, and then light here, and then darker patches here. So I'm going to go here, and then with the larger brush size, and actually I'm going to make the strokes follow the neckline in a way. And then you can see darker here, so I'm going to just speed it up. You can see dark here. I'm just using the reference. I'm not picking out colors on there. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Got better, isn't it, I would say. Let's see if it looks... So it has that little element of texture. So about here. Oops, too much maybe. All right. So yeah, that's looking more like a neck, I think. And now we said we were going to work on the left side here. I'm going to try and not use the reference so much. I'm going to try and lower it and get those beard effects. Okay. I wonder what Brad Pitt would make of this drawing. Because the reason why I picked him was because I love tennis and I saw him in the crowd. The camera was always pointing towards him. That's what. And then I thought, okay, seems like a famous celebrity. Don't know if he's coming out with a movie, but usually they show themselves in front of big crowds when they're releasing something. You can see there the lower lips. That needs to be done, yeah. So just use. This is creating texture while at the same time creating the shade necessary. All right, so I think what we have here is we're almost there, I believe. So let's use the color palette to see at that setting can have a bearing on the overall. Didn't mean to do that, sorry. So to get the white, he has a bit of a white beard. I remember he's after all, I think, almost 60. So he's really looked after himself, I would say. So you see there will be white elements in the beard. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take it down all the way, 0.5, and then take this down, and yes, see the beard? The white strands that sticks out. Now that will give it some kick, I think. It's just the contrast of the black. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, I think we're more or less done with that. But before we do that, I can see something in the corner of his eyes that is not shaping up. All right, I think we're done. So I hope I've given you a lesson on how to draw digitally on your phone. I hope you have as much fun as I do when I'm drawing on the phone. And I would say I'll just sign here. Paintology. Oops. Maybe I could make OG a bit better. Yep. So there it is. I'd love to see your drawings as well, and I can help you with that. And if you post it on community of the Paintology app, perfectly fine. And I'm happy to. Don't be afraid if you're beginning and you're worried what criticism. The whole idea is it's for you to learn. You won't get to this stage. I hope people will come to this stage and surpass my skills. And I haven't been, if you may think I draw every day, I don't. I usually draw when the urge arises for me to create new content. And people seem to be enjoying the new content I've been putting up on YouTube, and hence the reason for doing more of these drawings. So here you are, semi-realistic or possibly photorealistic drawing of Paintology using just the shade brush and nothing more. Blending, blurring, whatever, hairline, everything done by hand. and this probably a total of 2 hours, but it would be 1.5 hours or less if I wasn't making this live stream. So I hope you enjoyed this and please do give me feedback. And as I've said, subscribe for you to for me to continue with this live stream, which I only started like 2-3 days ago. And so I will keep this going if there's enough sufficient interest. And thank you very much for watching and spending time with me until another time. Thank you. Bye bye.